Justicialist truth number 7 is that no Pyrrhonist or Justicialist should feel him or herself to be more or less than he or she is. Now, of course, I changed that wording for more of a modern context, but what one must understand is when people believe they are more or less than they are, this is the ruin of every great thing. I think it's interesting in the sense that one of the things about Peronism and Italian fascism was it incorporated Catholicism into society, not so much as the giver of the law, but is as a moral yardstick, if you will. Now, I don't know much about Juan Perón, but what I do know about Benito Mussolini is Benito Mussolini was not really a religious guy, if you read the doctrine of fascism. Fascism was his religion, quite like I believe cosmotheism or scientific pantheism is my religion, and fascism is a vehicle for that. Benito Mussolini, I believe, like me, was not religious per se, but he recognized religion as a tool to lift society up. And I believe, but I do not feel comfortable saying this, but I will say it anyway, I believe Juan Perón had a similar view of religion, because this helps the person to see himself in the context of the greater society. I talk a lot about my former employment in mental health. One of the biggest problems with mental health is that the mental health provider sees themselves as more or less than they are. They feel incapable of helping, which would be less than, or more than capable of helping, in which they harm the person by taking the reins too strongly and doing too much for the person, or believing that they know better than that person for what that person can do for themselves. So what Juan Perón is saying in that a justicialist must know who they are and not be more, or not think themselves, they can't be more, but not to think themselves more or less than they are. In my opinion, that's what he's saying. So, in a way, what you have to understand and this needs to apply to all levels of society, and I will get into this about how Juan Perón, the main difference between justicialism and fascism or National Socialism, whereas in fascism and National Socialism, the classes were kept. Under Peronism or justicialism, there was only one class, and that class was the worker, which is excellent because that speaks to a true meritocracy. And when people don't understand this, is there class stratification? Yes, but in a meritocracy, which is what nature is a meritocracy. People are judged by what they do, not by their lineage, not by any of this. They're judged by who they are and what they bring to the table. It is much more liberating than, say, any other system of looking at people.